Good evening, everybody. This is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. Tonight, I just wanted to have a little talk time, if that's all right. I have a lot of videos that are coming up. I have a lot of things I want to show you, things I want to talk about. I want to show you my property. I want to do a step-by-step little video showing you where my gardens are so that if you are following me now and you continue to follow me, you'll have a good idea what I'm talking about when I refer to this garden or that garden. That's one thing I want to do. But another thing is I also want to do a little series on my seeds. I just want to show people what seeds I have, get some feedback on what seeds you have, what people like to grow. I'm particularly interested in a lot of heirloom seeds, but of course I have to grow all kind of different things if I want to have a market garden. So things like that I'd love to talk about and discuss and have videos on. But I thought that before I could even get to those videos, something keeps telling me to just have a discussion about this whole farming business that I'm started, this whole garden that I'm starting, and try to just talk a little bit about how I got here and how I'm going to proceed forward with it. And something happened on Thanksgiving that kind of put it all in perspective for me, and I was very thankful for that. And I wanted to just tell that little story tonight and then tie it in to how it is affecting my life and how it's affecting my thought process right now and moving forward in this farming business and moving forward through all of the things that can get so confusing. And here's this little story. We went to my mom's for Thanksgiving and had a good time, just talked to people and different things. And I had to kind of hurry so that I could get back home. And so I was leaving, kind of one of the first ones to leave. And as I was told everybody goodbye in the house, and as I was going outside to tell everybody goodbye who was eating outside, I gave a hug to my younger cousin. He's in college. I, of course, am way past that age. So, but he's still my cousin. He's just younger than me. And gave him a little hug and just said, how you doing, babe? How's it been going? He, oh, good. I said, are you still majoring in economics? Yes, ma'am. He said, but it's confusing, and my first thought was, oh, bless his heart. Economics is confusing. It's very confusing. And I thought to myself, I hope it's not getting the better of him, and so I just told him to encourage him, and I truly believe it. I said, well, this is an exciting time to be in economics. I said, this is an exciting time. And I said, I just wanted to give him some advice, I guess, from someone a little older and wiser, but I ended up giving myself advice is what happened. That's the way it always works. But I said, there are a lot of people, a lot of voices, especially in economics right now. I said, they're just coming at you from all different kind of directions, and they all seem to know what they're talking about. And I said, your professors do the same thing. They come at you all the time with different things. And I said, but a lot of them are no smarter than you are. I said, that's just their theories, their ideas. And I said, you just find your lane. I said, you're a good person. And I said, your gut will kind of tell you what's right and what's wrong. And I said, you don't let a lot of people lead you all over the place with their theories and things like that. Just use your gut, and it'll kind of tell you what makes sense and what doesn't. And I was telling him, I said, because I follow a lot of financial stuff on the radio, YouTube, everything. I really love to keep up with all that. It's very important, especially now with our situation with my husband's illness or condition. Not really an illness, it's his condition after his stroke and all of our finances. Now it's important that I pay attention, and I try to get advice from a lot of different sources. And I was telling him, I said, I have a lot of people that I listen to, that I, trust because I feel like they understand the financial situation now and all. I said, but even though there's a lot of people that I do follow and listen to, I said, sometimes you get different advice from all different advice from them. I said, well, this one wants to buy gold, this one wants to buy silver, this one says don't buy gold or silver, buy Bitcoin. I said, this one says Bitcoin is transitory, to use Secretary Powell's words. And I said, they all come at you with different opinions, But in general, they still feel the same way I do about the condition of the economy, the condition of the world and the country. I said, so I value their opinions, but you just don't have to take in every one of them. You can kind of use your gut and decide what's best to do with your money. I said, these are exciting times to be in economics. Nothing that's going on right now has ever happened in this world before. I said, these are just unique times. And I said, you just find your lane. Just find your lane. Let your gut tell you kind of what's right or wrong, and disregard a lot of the noise. And, you know, that was just my advice that night, because I just felt compassion for him when he said that, because he's a smart kid, and I really want him to be encouraged and to hit his stride. And I wanted him to understand that, you know, even older people like myself get confused about things too, but you don't have to listen to every little voice out there. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how in the world does this relate to gardening? How in the world is this affecting my life right now? Well, I came home and I thought about him a lot. And then I thought to myself, here you are telling him to find his lane, and you've been struggling like crazy to find your lane in this world of gardening, in this world of farming. And if you've done any research in gardening, if you've listened to any videos from gardeners, from farmers, you will see that there's all kinds of voices out there. There's all kinds of different theories, even though they work, some of them, there's truth, and there's a lot of truth in a lot of different things. But it's theories, basically, and it can get confusing. You know, you just say, it's kind of funny because you just want to put a seed in the ground. You just want to grow something pretty. You just want this heirloom seed you saw in a catalog. You just want to grow it. And then you start learning all of this stuff, and you never put the seed in the ground because you're studying. First of all, you just need to scrape a little hole in the dirt and put the seed in. But then you find out you're not supposed to call it dirt. You're supposed to call it soil. And you need to learn about soil before you ever start to garden, some people say. If you don't have good soil, you shouldn't be gardening in that soil, because then it's just dirt. So you thought, you know, you had dirt. Then you realize, no, my dirt's alive. It's soil. So I need to take care of it. And then you get so worried about your soil, you never plant your seed. And that's the cycle that can happen when you really start studying and learning. And it can start to get confusing when it should be pretty simple. Now, in the long run, yes, you do need to learn all about soil. In the long run, you do need to learn all kinds of techniques. And in the long run, some of these theories of the different ways to garden can be very valuable to you. But it's like I've told my little cousin, you have to just find your lane. You have to find your lane and figure out what works best for you. There's so many ways to garden. You know, there's the back to Eden, the permaculture. Oh, well, permaculture's, you know, not even good enough. You need a forest, you know, biodiversity forest. It's like, I don't want a forest. It sounds good. I mean, and the people that do it just have edible food year round and all that kind of stuff. But I can't do a food forest right now. I just can't. And even though I like to read about things like that, and even though my mind has went that direction, you know, I just sitting here thinking I need to plant 10 or 20 berry bushes around every tree in our yard and just start a little food forest, it could get overwhelming. And it can take you, and you've decided to major in gardening, you've decided to major in farming in your life, and the next thing you know, you can be just standing there saying it's confusing because you've got a lot of voices coming at you. And you have to understand, like, it is like what I told him. They all can be good voices. They all can be very smart. And there's truth in everything they say. But also, you have to just trust your gut after a little while. And you have to trust your life experiences, because that's what I'm dealing with now. When I first even knew the word market gardener was when I bought the book by that title, The Market Gardener. I saw that, I think I just saw it in an Amazon search, and I was like, oh, this person says that they're making $100,000 a year on a half an acre of land or something. I'm like, that's crazy. I want to read this book. And I enjoyed the book. The book is very informative. I'm probably going to put it in my little lineup to do a book review on it, because I really want to do some book reviews on some of the gardening books I've bought. I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of different things in them, and I'd love to talk to you about it. But the book is great. And he and his wife have done it, and they did that up in Canada. He goes all over the world doing speaking engagements when invited, when he can. And it's a reality, and he has succeeded at it. But I'm not him. I have a whole different situation in my life. He and his wife take on the labor. They don't count their labor as part of their business. They just do the hard work to make it as profitable as it can be. And they have interns that come in because they're well known now. So they have interns that come in and help them and stuff. I have no interns, and I do not have a spouse right now that can help me physically to do this business. As a matter of fact, I have to help him a lot, so that my business has to be just a part of my life. It's not my whole life right now. And also, they can afford a couple of employees to come in and help them with things throughout the year. Right now, of course, being a brand new business, I haven't even had my first season of growing yet. I can't have an employee or pay an employee right now. So you have to take the best of what the book is about, because his growing techniques are good. The way he has just systematically laid out his gardens, systematically learned by trial and error the best ways to grow things. Take in that information, learn from his mistakes. He tells you to learn from his mistakes. So that's what you kind of have to do with each person you think about when you're trying to think, well, should I go his direction? Should I go her direction? You should go the direction that best works for you, because otherwise you're on a crash course just to crash land. And while I can get excited about a lot of the things that people talk about, I have to run them through the filter of, would I even be able to do that? And do I want to do that? One of the videos that I watched not too long ago was talking about, if you want to make money in gardening, get into microgreens. Well, a lot of people have turned their entire garages, entire sheds into microgreen growing businesses. It's a process that's fairly simple once you're set up. The microgreens can just grow in 10 to 15 days, and you cut them, bag them. There's machines that can cut them and bag them practically without you having to touch the greens, and you sell them straight to supermarkets and places like that in the bags that you put them in without your hands really even touching them. And a lot of the people have contracts, and they make a lot of money. This particular video said you can make about $17,000 a month doing that. Well, who doesn't want to make $17,000 a month? I mean, who would not want to do that? I don't want to. And the reason why, first of all, is because that is labor intensive, and deliveries and all of that stuff. It doesn't work for my situation right now. But second of all, I want to do this, and I do want to make money, but I also kind of feel like it's just a vocation that I want to fulfill. And part of that vocation is growing a variety of things so that I don't get bored with it all. I don't want to just grow one type of any vegetable. I don't want to just grow one thing over and over and over and over and over, even if I can make $17,000 a month. That's just not what I could do on a daily basis and feel fulfilled. I want to grow a lot of different things. I love just your regular tomatoes and squash and all that you see at the produce stands all the time. And I'll have to grow a lot of those basic things because people are going to want that. But I also have a part of me that's artistic and creative, and I love the stories of the heirloom vegetables. That's a lot of what I buy is heirloom seeds and all. things that people might not have really heard of and might not pay a lot of money for, but I like to grow on my own. And so for my own food production, for my own creativity side of me, I'm going to grow some of those things too. And I'm going to have a garden that's diverse. But I got to find my lane with all of this. And part of my lane is going to be doing what I want to do. I know that might sound silly, but really and truly, our business, because of our situation, and because that I can't go sit at a farmer's market all day long every Saturday for 6 months of the growing season. I can't do that. I really can't even really do it one Saturday without some outside help helping me. And I'm not going to do that to my husband, leave him every Saturday, and I'm not going to burden my family, to help me out with that. It's just not going to happen. We do better when we're right here. So what is my lane going to be? Well, I'm leaving a lot of it up to prayer and things like that, but I can kind of visualize right now my lane being very close to home. I can imagine, I don't live in a populated area, but I do live in an area where there are little roadside stands a lot of times. And I would love to just roll down to the end of our road in our side-by-side, set up a little roadside stand and sell on a Saturday morning and come back and forth to my house if I need to. And that would be one way I'd love to sell. We have a couple of little, really one bigger subdivision near us. And I would love to just take my side-by-side and go down the road just a little ways, because we can do that out here, and have customers in that subdivision that I can establish a relationship with. And they start knowing how it operates, and that they can text me or call me for something and I'll bring it to them. Now, if you really get in the weeds with a lot of this stuff and you watch the videos where people are focused on the profits, and you should be, and that's fine. You should be focused on making it worth your time. But a lot of them have the mobility to produce, to get orders delivered, and they have people helping them and things like that. Right now, for my situation, I would consider it a wonderful success if I could get a customer base that's just nearby, that just starts trusting me to be able to bring them some really good tomatoes, to bring them some squash, some things like that. I love to grow corn, and I plan on growing 3 different kinds this spring. I'll do some more in the fall. And if I could just get people that trust me, I've already have people telling me, just let me know when stuff is ready. And I'm just going to depend that if I put one foot in front of the other and get this going, that kind of business is just going to be there. And then I will have to work hard to keep that trust. Nobody, even no matter how much they love you, if you're not giving them a good product, or, if your service is not that great or whatever, they won't be around long, even if they know you and love you, So you have to work hard. And that part I can do, that part. But I can imagine that if my husband and I could just get on the side-by-side and deliver some things to nearby people, we could do a roadside stand on our own road, on our own terms. And, and then even also another part of the aspect of the way I'm thinking of it is there will be some people, my family, my immediate family, people like that, they could come straight to my house to buy things. They could go in the garden and pick what they want and do it that way. I also have a outdoor shed that has some freezers and refrigerators in it. And right now, they're pretty cleaned out as it is. But right now I'm kind of working real hard on getting some more space in my freezers and things like that, so that I can put some vegetables in there to where they can be just sold by the bag. But, I could have a little customer base that knows what I have available out there. And I'm just trying to kind of create my own system that will work for me and find my lane in it. And I'm doing a lot of trust in the Lord that it'll all work out. Because I think if you put the work in, then things will just work out how they're supposed to. And that's what I have to do for me. Now, to tie this all in to what I was talking to him about, I would just advise people in anything, in economics, in gardening, and trying to figure out what you're going to major in at college, and just trying to figure out your life, at some point, you have to kind of take in the best information that you can get from the sources that you trust, but then filter them out with using your gut. And things might seem great. It might seem easy money going this direction or easy money that direction, or people telling you what to do with your money this way and that way. But in the end, you just have to trust your gut. You have to just find your lane. You have to be yourself. You can't be anybody else. Everybody now is talking about their brands and their merch and their this and their that. Right now, I'm just trying to get through one day at a time. I'm not selling any merch right now. I'm not a brand per se right now. I'm just Lainey from Camp Joy Farms, trying to get started, putting one foot in front of the other each day and prioritizing my day as best as I can with my life right now. And I'm happy. And I would love to share that with you on these videos as I go forward. I would love for you to see my passion for seeds and for growing things, and have you be a part of my life and me be a part of yours as you're riding down the road, as you're listening to things, as you're choosing videos. So to sum it all up, just follow your heart. Be yourself. Find your lane. Stay in your lane if possible. If your lane leads you here, there, and yonder, that's okay. Life's a learning experience. But just trust yourself. Most people are so good and so wonderful. And if we work hard, we can all help each other succeed. This is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. I enjoyed talking to you tonight. You have a great, great evening and a great weekend. Bye-bye.